BRICS, the beginning of the end, a new world order. The world watches, eyes open but hands tied, as the clash between Ukraine and Russia gets stronger. As nations turn away from Russia, a dangerous story starts, hinting at a world on the edge. But in the shadows of this chaos, something even more alarming rises. A change that speaks of a dark future, a new world order. What does this mean for us? Prepare for a truth that may forever change how you see the world. Today, we uncover the secrets of the global stage. As the world's power balance shifts, BRICS, led fiercely by Russia, sketches a bold plan to fight back, with sights set on taking down the dominance of the dollar and euro. While armies and tanks have their place, there is a silent struggle that unfolds, a battle for money and power. As January 1st, 2024 comes near, 6 countries prepare to join BRICS and reinforce its stake in the financial war. This isn't just a simple addition. It signals that the world is about to transform, partnerships shift, and big economies waver. With all this change, one big question stands. Is the world ready for what comes next? Are you ready? Let's begin. Chapter 1, the rise of BRICS. In the chaos of international diplomacy where power plays to shape the future, BRICS emerged not just as a random formation, but as a fierce response. A response to what, you ask? At the turn of the 21st century, the world's economic landscape was dominated by Western giants. The US, Europe, and their allies held the reins of global finance, influencing trade, investments, and policies at will. But as the sun never sets without casting shadows, certain nations felt eclipsed by this Western supremacy. Enter BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. But why these countries? And why then? These nations, diverse in culture but united in aspiration, are the rising stars of the global economy. Individually, they have strength, but together, they envision a collective force that can counterbalance the Western hold. Each country brings something unique to the table. Brazil's resources, Russia's energy reserves, India's booming human capital, China's manufacturing ability, and South Africa's strategic position in Africa. But it isn't just about economics, it's about voice. A voice in a world where decisions seem controlled by a select few. BRICS is their megaphone, a platform to project their views, advocate for fairer trade practices, and create a more balanced global financial system. So, what was the main point of their union? In one word, empowerment. These nations look to empower themselves, not just economically, but politically and socially. They have a vision for a world where emerging markets have an equal say in shaping global destinies. They dream of breaking the chains of financial dependency and charting their paths. BRICS isn't just an alliance, it's a statement, a message to the world, a declaration that the era of solo domination is coming to an end and that a new era of multipolarity is on the way. As we peel back the layers of history, it becomes evident that BRICS wasn't purely a reaction, but a revolutionary step. A step towards redefining global power structures. And as you'll soon discover, their journey is filled with intrigue, ambition, and a relentless drive to reshape the world order. Stay with me as we go deeper into this alliance's journey and what it means for our future. The story of BRICS is just beginning. Chapter 2, the chessboard of power. In the maze of international politics, alliances often get crushed under pressure. But BRICS, driven by shared ambition, wants to carve its name into the history books. Yet for all their collective vision, the path isn't always smooth. By the 2010s, BRICS nations started to assert themselves on the global stage. Joint economic initiatives, development banks, and summit meetings become more frequent. Notably, the creation of the new development bank in 2014 is a testament to their ambition. A bank aimed at financing infrastructure projects primarily in BRICS countries, symbolizes their desire to be less reliant on Western-dominated institutions. Yet, why? With all this momentum, doesn't BRICS realize its full potential by 2023? For one, internal differences pose significant challenges. The differences in their economies, political systems, and developmental goals sometimes create friction. Another hurdle is external pressure. Facing sanctions, economic downturns, and geopolitical tensions, individual BRICS countries have their fair share of battles to fight. While these challenges internally and externally shape the BRICS journey, there is another essential aspect to consider: their relationship with the dominant Western economies. Some might wonder, do BRICS countries need the support of big players like the US and Europe? it seems like they both need each other. The US and Europe, with their strong money systems, lead the world's economy, mostly because the dollar and euro are too powerful. These currencies, used everywhere in world trade, give these Western countries a big advantage. Their economies, built over many years, offer a model of stability that newer, growing economies often look to. BRICS, fueled by their passion and ambition, always aim to carve their path, to be independent and make their own choices. This dream seems huge, especially when you consider the strength of the West. But on the fateful day of February 24th, 2022, the globe shook to its core as conflict ignited between Russia and Ukraine. The West, spearheaded by the US and Europe, imposes a deluge of sanctions on Russia. The air turns tense with fear and uncertainty. Acting decisively, they unleashed over 300 sanctions targeting Russia's tactics, their military-industrial lifelines, and their energy revenues. Russia isn't a silent spectator in this grand geopolitical play. They reply strongly, implementing their restrictions and stopping the importation of food to numerous countries. The weight of Europe's reliance on Russian gas becomes evident, stretching tensions to a knife's edge. Europe and the USA, now trapped in a precarious dance, juggle helping Ukraine while trying to stabilize their financial resources. Jobs are lost, and an alarming inflation rate of 7% emerges. A sense of unease spreads like a shadow across nations. And the most shocking part, Putin is just getting started. While Russia appears to be isolated, wrestling with the strength of global powers, China stands silently at a distance, its goals hidden. The West's commitment is clear. Any country supporting Russia risks international isolation. While all eyes focus on Russia's European border, China plays its own chess game. They flash their desires at Taiwan, a nation under the United States' protective cover due to its strategic importance and democratic characteristics. With Russia's nuclear weapons aimed at Ukraine and other Western nations, the threat of World War III becomes more evident. Most would think, who would risk it all? True. No sane leader wants total destruction, but while the West plays a simple game of checkers, Russia and China switched to the game of chess. They aren't just worried about the potential of a nuclear shutdown. Their real game is about achieving economic dominance. It's one thing to win battles, but it's another to control the board. But everything shifted on March 20th, 2023. A move so masterful, it holds the potential to hand BRICS the true crown, propelling them to heights previously thought unreachable. Chapter 3, New World Order. The world watched as Russian President Vladimir Putin welcomed the President of China, Xi Jinping, into the heart of Kremlin. Behind those walls, discussions whispered of a future that few could fully grasp. The alliance hinted at tectonic shifts in global dynamics. As Xi Jinping declared, right now, there are changes, the likes of which we haven't seen for 100 years, and we are the ones driving these changes together. What does this mean for the West? Simply put, the dawn of a new world order has already begun. The ruble and the yuan, which traditionally are overshadowed by the euro and the dollar, are on the rise. The masterminds in these countries recognize something critical. To dethrone dominating currencies, a more appealing alternative must be present, and they have the resources and willpower to do so. We already see the ripple effects of Russia's maneuvering. By instigating sanctions, Moscow manages to destabilize certain sectors of the US and European economies, creating vulnerabilities. But then there's China, who is the potential sleeping dragon in this story. A shocking number of billion-dollar US companies rely on China's labor force and manufacturing prowess. In many ways, China holds the gun in this situation. If Beijing decides to pull the trigger, banning exports or demanding transactions in yuan, it could send shockwaves through global supply chains, destroying economies that lean heavily on Chinese output. This isn't just hypothetical, it's a present reality. Things are heating up as Brazil, India, and South Africa, the remaining trio of the BRICS, step onto the stage. These nations, with their resources and growing economies, can be the tool to weaken the West's financial foundation. Imagine a scenario where these nations exclusively trade using the ruble and the yuan, sidestepping the traditional euro and dollar routes. Brazil, with its influential position in South America and its rich natural resources, challenges U.S. economic interests in the region. India, an IT powerhouse and a central hub for global services diverts its many economic outputs towards the east, away from its Western partners. South Africa, commanding the southern tip of the African continent, is a gateway for African nations to join this new alliance, shifting the balance of trade and power. But isn't the West aware of this danger? Of course they are. By imposing sanctions and attempting to isolate Russia and China, they are essentially poking the bear, hoping to control it. But the clock ticks. And sadly, it might be too late because a recent summit left the West panicking. On August 24th, 2023, the world started shifting. BRICS announced an evolution, not just an expansion, with Saudi Arabia, Iran, Ethiopia, Egypt, Argentina, and the United Arab Emirates stepping into the fold. 6 powerhouses entered the scene after 13 stagnant years. Their membership is set to become official by January 1st, 2024, which begs the question, why now? This isn't a casual alliance. It's a deliberate, powerful proclamation. They band together to rewrite the script and shake the very foundations of the existing world order. The game is changing, and BRICS hold some of the most strategic cards. Take a deep breath and focus closely. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, titans of the global oil trade, are in a prime position to dictate where the oil flows and how it's priced, potentially sidelining the dollar's dominance in oil trade. Iran, chained for years by economic sanctions, now has a new avenue to trade, finance, and grow, sidestepping the dollar and the euro. Ethiopia and Egypt, ready at critical trade crossroads, have the potential to redefine trade routes and agreements that could bypass traditional Western economic hubs. And Argentina, with its agricultural and mineral wealth, might pivot its trade alliances, shifting from relying on US and European markets to those within BRICS sphere. US and Europe's once unchallenged grip on global finance now are facing a catastrophe. These 6 nations aren't just joining a group, they're potentially joining forces to create an alternative economic axis, directly challenging the dominance of the dollar and the euro. As BRICS gears up, secured with these new assets, are we witnessing the beginning of an economic revolution? The dollar and euro rule supreme, but will they maintain their thrones? Only time will tell. But if you ask me, the tides are turning rapidly. Get ready and hold on tight, because this might be the beginning of a new era. Remember, in this ever-changing world, always stay one step ahead.